What's happening, guys? Back again for another video, and today I want to talk to you about a really small and mediocre gothic RPG that got released in Europe last week. Actually, that is a lie. This game is anything but mediocre and Bloodborne is anything but small. I want to talk to you guys about my first impressions. I sank 5 hours into it last Friday and so far so good, but let's take a look in a little bit more depth. Here we go. So these are my views. Your experiences and your views may differ slightly. The first thing that became apparent to me was just how beautiful the game looked. I wouldn't say it's the best looking game on the PlayStation 4, but they've certainly done a fantastic job, and I wrote about this in my preview and in my blog last night, that I really like the way From Software made use of the light, the way the light bounces off the puddles on the floor, the way the light bounces off the windows of the carriages, and the gold on the carriages really makes the environment feel dark and damp. Now that seems a little bit odd talking about light, but especially the light that reflects from the puddles, I really liked, and it was one of the first things I noticed when I watched initial gameplay, and it's one of the first things I noticed when I played Bloodborne for the first time on Friday. Another thing that really stood out for me on Bloodborne is the transition from light to dark and vice versa. For example, and I'm not going to necessarily spoil this to people, quite early on in the game there's a huge fire, so the environment around it looks incredibly bright. However, on the levels above it's a little bit darker and there's a lot more shadow. When you transition from that, it seems so smooth to the point where you kind of don't notice it. And I don't know why, but that just gave me a feeling of kind of satisfaction and ease. I think typically as players, when we're playing RPGs and we go into those dark dungeons, you think, oh my shit, I'm gonna get my ass kicked here. But Bloodborne didn't make me feel as though I was gonna get my ass kicked, and I think that is because of the transition. It was quite smooth from light areas into dark areas and back again. From Software really have, in my opinion, have made a cracking game. Yharnam feels incredibly open, and again, the sky is something that always strikes me as incredible. Again, that use of colour, the burnt orange colour, I think that radiates throughout certain aspects of the game, has been done and depicted really well. You do actually feel like you're kind of in this huge city and incredibly lost at times, but not lost to the point where you don't know where you're going. And that's because Bloodborne has a certain sense of lineage that the Souls games really lacked for me. When I played Dark Souls 2, I found myself lost. I found the world far too open. I didn't know where I was going, what I was doing. In fact, I haven't played the game for quite some time. There's my cats running around in the background. Whereas Bloodborne, I do typically know where I'm going around 75% of the time. I know roughly where I'm going and what I'm doing, and that is a welcome change for me. So from the get-go, I felt incredibly powerful, which again is something that I didn't expect. Comparable to the Souls series, where you felt quite weak when you started off, in Bloodborne you feel quite ready to take on battle from the get-go. And again, I really like that about Diablo 3, and I'm really enjoying it about Bloodborne. One thing I will say, guys, is the saving. Saving really has been an issue for me. You have to find the lamps and save each lamp. Now there is a huge gap right on in the game from Central Yharnam to the lamp at the Cleric Beast, and it is humongous, and I died lots, but I didn't care because part of the tactics in Bloodborne is to die to learn, and somebody said that to me about the Souls series actually. You have to die to learn how to play the game, and that I think has been carried over maybe intentionally, into the Bloodborne game. It's been such a fantastic experience so far. The most common question I've been asked on my social media is, I've heard it's really difficult, is it? The answer to that is yes, it is difficult. I wouldn't expect anything less from Software. However, it's not as difficult as Demon's Souls or Dark Souls 1 or 2, and again, that is something that I really felt. I think the fact that you do feel quite powerful from the beginning gives you a sense of confidence to progress through the game. The enemies, you know, a couple of hacks and slashes and shots from the pistol generally take an enemy down in 2 or 3 swipes or 2 or 3 bullets, depending on where you are in the game. And again, I think talking about weapons, the Molotovs, the pebbles, the things that you pick up in those early stages really do feel like you've got a powerful arsenal behind you. And again, I never felt that about Dark Souls. So far guys, Bloodborne is looking absolutely incredible. So where does that leave me? I'm definitely looking forward to playing more Bloodborne today. I want to hear what you guys think. To accompany this video, I did write a blog. I will link that somewhere, maybe on the screen. It will definitely be in the description. If you guys could take a peek at that, that really helps me out. But I'll be back soon guys for some more retro awesomeness, some more games we never knew, and whatever else you guys want to recommend. Please like, comment and subscribe. Hit me up on Facebook guys. Take care.